What's up? It's your brother's keeper. A lot of you have been dropping comments. My most popular video is the video I did on spirit spouses. A lot of you are getting offended, and a lot of you have been asking me questions in the comments. And one person, I don't know if it's female or a guy, but they have like a scripture for a name, and they asked me, "Do I believe in the Jezebel spirit?" And that's the video I'm going to tackle on today. A lot of y'all are quoting that scripture from Genesis about the fallen angels, and I did briefly touch on the fallen angels in my video. So a lot of y'all, are throwing that back at me like, well, this is where the spirit spouses are. So we're going to do, I don't believe in spirit spouses, and I don't. And do I believe in the spirit of Jezebel? The answer to that is definitely not. All right. So I'm going to cover a video on the fallen angels, and I'm going to cover the video on Jezebel. It'll be a 2-part series. So for right now, I'm doing video 1 on the question, do I believe in the Jezebel spirit? All right. So as far as the Jezebel spirit, you know what? Let's entertain it. Let's entertain it, because a lot of y'all are getting offended that I don't believe in these spirits, and someone went off on me and said I was going to hell, and that the 2 minutes of the video is going to send somebody to hell or something like that, because I don't give these spirits power. But so we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. We'll entertain the notion that the Jezebel spirit exists. All right, we'll go there, but I'm gonna explain to you why she doesn't exist. But I'll give y'all the benefit of the doubt if she did. All right, so let's get into it. Where are we? Okay, cool. 2 minutes in time. Great. All right, so I had a job, and every year we would meet in one specific state from all over the United States. We'd all meet in one place, and we have this big event. So, I believe I was in New York at the time, or maybe I was in, I don't know if I was in New York or New Hampshire, but I was in some big university. And so we did this activity on the football field, and I lost my iPod. So I went to the lost and found, and I ran into this lady, and she had like a statue on her desk, and it was Saint Anthony. And I guess she was like maybe one of the heads of the lost and found, or she was a worker in the university, and she was in the lost and found. So she had this Saint Anthony statue on her desk, and she said, "Yeah, no, nobody's turned anything in like that, hun." And then she told me, "But you know what though? If you say a prayer to Saint Anthony, you will find it." And the Christian in me wouldn't allow me to say that prayer. I was like, hold up, I didn't go off on her, but in my mind I was like, hold up, lady, this is not a conversation you want to have with me. But she's like, no, and I kind of was, saying, nah, I'm not going to do that. Nah, she's like, no, for real, say a prayer to St. Anthony and you'll find your iPod, so she said that. And, obviously she's Catholic, so when Christians say there's an Ahab spirit and there's a Jezebel spirit, it's almost like saying what the Catholics and Catholicism believe in when they in the Roman Catholics, when they say, oh, they pray to Saint James, pray to Saint Anthony, pray to Saint John, pray to Mary, pray to the Guadalupe woman. No offense to my brown people out there, but the Guadalupe woman, she ain't even in the Bible. Like, who is the Guadalupe woman? You know what I mean? So anyway, a lot of Roman Catholics, they pray to different saints. So when Christians come up with this ideology of spouse spirits and like Jezebel spirit and the Ahab spirit, it's similar to saying Ahab is still alive and he's tormenting people, and Jezebel is still like some type of haunted ghost, like they're ghosts and they're rolling around trying to, put their spirit on them. And saying that Jezebel spirit is omnipresent and she's out there like God, like just in every individual, it's like, no, that's not true. So, you know, but so when you say things like that, that's what you're kind of hinting at. And these are the facts. Mary, John, James, all of them are dead, and they're awaiting judgment, like you and me will await judgment. Now Christians won't be judged, of course, but will be tried by the fire. You know what I mean? Will be tried, right? So likewise, Jezebel, she's dead. Ahab's dead. Now I know there's a scripture where she was talking to someone through something from the dead, but she's dead. You know what I mean? So if y'all don't pray to Mary and James and Luke or whoever, Saint Luke and all these saints like the Catholics do, y'all shouldn't acknowledge that Jezebel is coming back and she's tormenting you, and you shouldn't acknowledge that Ahab is, because they're dead. Jezebel is dead and she's waiting to be judged and cast into the lake of fire. People can't come back from the dead and haunt you. If that's the case, like, you could communicate with your lost ones who went on to glory. You understand what I'm saying? So they are human beings, even the prophets. So to have this ideology is almost, in essence, you would rather off it would if you believe that Jezebel's still living and Ahab is still living in the spiritual world tormenting you. You may as well be praying to Saint Anthony and Saint John and Saint James and Mary to deliver you from the evil spirits. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of what you're alluding to when you have these methods. It's like the Catholics they got one thing right. At least they don't believe in saint demons like you guys do. They don't believe in a Saint Judas and a Saint Jezebel and a saint. And you would have thought they would have came up with that by now. But it's the Christians that are coming up with these people who are dead waiting to be judged. They're the ones who are coming up with this, with all of these wicked people, and they're saying that's that spirit. Now, to entertain you, if y'all were to say the same spirits that influence Jezebel are still around and influencing the Christians, then I would say, okay, her demonic mentors and the demons that were plaguing her are trying to plague someone today. Okay, that makes more sense. But if you're saying it's actually her, then it doesn't make sense. So if you're saying it's her demonic influence or her, some people we have a guardian angel, maybe we have a guardian demon, I guess, per se, you want to call it that. If you want to say that, or an assigned demon, if you want to say like, okay, Jezebel's demons are still around and they're trying to plague people, that I would agree with. That I could say, okay, yes, and likeness of her or the ones that influenced her, they're doing it, okay, yes, but her individually, no, I don't believe in that. So yeah, that's the only loophole that I would say that there was a Jezebel spirit, if the spirits that were plaguing her are still plaguing people, but not her herself coming back from the dead and being a ghost and haunting people. No, she's dead like everybody else. So that's my take on the video. Be on the lookout for the fallen angels. All right, 1.